For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. Another Israeli massacre of Palestinians waiting for food aid in Gaza City, according to witnesses. At least 20 people are dead from gunfire and missile strikes that included helicopter firings. Israel, though, is denying the claims. It's the second alleged strike on aid seekers at the Kuwait roundabout. Other strikes overnight in Gaza include a residential building in the southern city of Rafah, where Israel's planning a ground invasion. Meanwhile, Australia is joining the European Union, Canada, and Sweden in restoring funding to the United Nations aid agency in Palestine, UNRWA, after cutting funds when Israel accused 12 staff of involvement in Hamas's October 7th attack. UNRWA says the staff were tortured into giving false confessions, including beatings and waterboardings. Here's Australia's Foreign Minister Penny Wong.
The best available current advice from agencies and the Australian government lawyers is that UNRWA is not a terrorist organisation, and that existing and additional safeguards sufficiently protect Australian taxpayer funding. Australia has been working with a group of donor countries and with UNRWA on the shared objective of ensuring the integrity of UNRWA's operations, rebuilding confidence, and, so importantly, ensuring aid flows to Gazans in desperate need.
Meanwhile, Hamas released a 3-stage ceasefire and hostage proposal today that would see an end to the war and Israel's withdrawal from Gaza. Israel has rejected previous proposals to end the war. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to finish the job of crushing Hamas. He's facing a new vocal critic in the U.S., the highest-ranking Jewish politician, Senate Leader Chuck Schumer, who called for new elections to replace Netanyahu. Max Pringle reports.
In an address on the Senate floor, Senator Schumer said Prime Minister Netanyahu has aligned with Israel's radical right by, for example, coming out against a two-state solution to the Middle East conflict.
Prime Minister Netanyahu has lost his way by allowing his political survival to take the precedence over the best interests of Israel.
Schumer said the Israeli government should call new elections to allow the Israeli public to choose a different path. Meanwhile, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell criticized Schumer's statement.
The Jewish state of Israel deserves an ally that acts like one.
New York Democrat Schumer said criticisms of Israel as an apartheid or settler colonial state unfair. However, the American Friends Service Committee disagrees. It held its second annual Apartheid-Free Communities webinar. Palestinian attorney Ahmed Aboul said Israeli society bears all the hallmarks of an apartheid system.
Every aspect of Palestinian life is being controlled and dominated by Israel's settler colonial apartheid regime.
Senator Chuck Schumer also called for Palestinian Authority leader Mahmoud Abbas to step down and make room for new leadership that's more willing to compromise. I'm Max Pringle.
Presidential elections are underway in wartime Russia, including 4 Ukrainian regions it annexed after its war in Ukraine. President Vladimir Putin's expected to win. It would make him the longest-running leader of Russia since the communist dictator's rule, Joseph Stalin. This comes as Ukraine says 2 border regions, Kursk and Belgorod, are active combat zones. Ukraine is backed by anti-Kremlin forces in the fighting. In the U.S., Vice President Kamala Harris became the first to visit an abortion clinic Thursday. Farah Siddiqui reports.
It is absolutely about healthcare and reproductive healthcare. So everyone get ready for the language. Uterus. Issues like fibroids, breast cancer screening, contraceptive care.
In the first ever visit by a vice president to an abortion clinic, Kamala Harris stresses that facilities like Planned Parenthood in St. Paul, Minnesota, deliver vital health care.
We are facing a very serious health crisis. In states around our country, extremists have proposed and passed laws that have denied women access to reproductive health care.
Some doctors say restrictions since Roe was overturned are putting lives at risk. Abortion opponents argue that bans can still protect health.
In Oklahoma, hundreds marched and rallied at the state capitol Thursday to protest the death of non-binary Indigenous teenager Nex Benedict, whose death was ruled a suicide earlier this week. Benedict was bullied for a year at their high school, and LGBTQ rights advocates say the state's anti-trans laws contributed to the hostility and bullying towards Benedict.
Trans lives matter! Trans lives matter!
Youth staged a high school walkout chanting "Trans Lives Matter." This teen spoke on the Capitol steps.
We deserve the right to be children and peace at school.
President Joe Biden in a statement said bullying is hurtful and cruel and no one should face the bullying that Next did. Parents and schools must take reports of bullying seriously. The father of a Michigan school shooter has been found guilty of involuntary manslaughter. It's a second jury conviction against Ethan Crumbley's parents, who were accused of failing to secure a gun at the home and doing nothing to solve his mental health problems. Ethan Crumbley killed 4 students at Oxford High School in 2021. The Crumbleys are the first U.S. parents to be charged in a mass school shooting. The son, now 17 years old, is serving a life sentence for murder and terrorism. I'm Christina Onnested, reporting for Pacifica Radio.